Hola, estudiantes. Today we're going to talk about stem changing verbs. You've already learned E to IE, so today we'll review E to IE a little bit, and then we're going to talk about O to UE stem changing verbs. So you already learned to conjugate E to IE stem changing verbs. Here are some example sentences. Yo quiero sacar buenas notas. Notice the E changed to IE and the verb querer. I want to get good grades. ¿Tú entiendes español? Do you understand Spanish? Notice that the E changed to IE in this example as well. And las chicas prefieren ir de compras en el centro comercial. Notice that in prefieren the E changes to IE, just like the others, so the girls prefer to go shopping at the mall. You already learned how to conjugate these verbs, so here's a list, a reminder. Okay, we have querer, which means to want, pensar, which means to think or to plan, empezar, which means to begin or to start, entender, to understand, cerrar, to close, and preferir, to prefer. So please pause the video at this time and fill out part A of your note guide. So we're going to discuss O to UE stem changing verbs at this time. So stem changing verbs, remember, have regular endings. So AR verb endings would be o, as, a, amos, an. ER verbs would have endings like o, ace, a, amos, ain. And IR verbs would have o, ace, a, emos, ain. For O to UE stem changing verbs, the O in the stem will change to UE in all forms except, remember, nosotros. So for example, poder, which means to be able or can, the O in the stem changes to UE. Yo puedo means I can. Here's a list of 6 verbs that stem change from O to UE. Poder means to be able or can. Almorzar means to eat lunch or to have lunch. Costar means to cost. Dormir means to sleep. Encontrar means to find. And volver means to return. Now there's one more I've included. Jugar is considered a stem changing verb that falls into this category as well. The only problem here is that there is no O in the infinitive. So there's no O in jugar. It is a U. However, this verb will change from U to UE in all forms except nosotros, just like these verbs here. So remember that jugar means to play, specifically sports or games. So pause the video at this time and fill out part B of your note guide. Okay, so here's an example of how we would conjugate the entire verb. Poder, remember, means to be able. The O in the stem will change to UE in all forms except nosotros. So, let's go through. Yo puedo, I can. Tú puedes, you can. Usted puede, you can. Él puede, he can. Ella puede, she can. Notice we do not stem change nosotros. You leave the O as is, and because it's an ER verb, we have the ER verb endings. So nosotros podemos, we can. Ustedes pueden, you guys can, or you all can. And ellos and ellas pueden both mean they can. So please pause the video again and fill out part C, and don't forget to draw the shoe around the forms that change. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and show you the example with jugar, because remember, instead of being an O to UE, it's a U to UE. So the U in the stem will change to UE. Yo juego, I play. Tú juegas, you play. Keeping in mind that jugar is an AR verb, so we have AR verb endings. Usted juega, you formal play. Él juega, he plays. Ella juega, she plays. Notice in nosotros it does not change, so nosotros jugamos is we play. Ustedes juegan is you guys or you all play, and ellos or ellas juegan is they play. Okay, remember that you can draw the shoe or the boot around this verb as well, because the nosotros form will not change. Here are some example sentences with these new O to UE verbs. Yo puedo dibujar muy bien means I can draw very well. Notice that we've conjugated poder as a stem changing O to UE. And we have not conjugated dibujar. Remember, when you have one verb followed by another, the first verb is conjugated, the second one is not. Los estudiantes almuerzan en la cafetería means the students eat lunch or have lunch in the cafeteria. Notice we've stem changed. ¿Cuánto cuesta el vestido azul? How much does the blue dress cost? Remember that costar is an OTUE stem changing verb, and you recognize this phrase, cuánto cuesta, from the last lesson. Mi hermano duerme todo el día los sábados. My brother sleeps all day on Saturdays. Again, we have stem changed, dormir. ¿Tú encuentras libros interesantes aquí? Can you find interesting books here? Notice we've changed the O in encontrar to a UE. And then the last one, nosotros volvemos a casa a las 8. Notice that because this is in the nosotros form, we did not change the O to UE, so we keep the O and just conjugate as normal. Practiquemos, let's practice. Okay, so for the first one, we want to say, I eat lunch at 12, because we know we have to stem change. In the yo form, we would say, almuerzo. For dos, we want to say, Juan can listen to music. Because we stem change in the he form, we need to change the O to UE. We would say, Juan puede escuchar música. My grandparents sleep a lot. Well, because it's the they form, we want to change the O to UE, so mis abuelos duermen mucho. Cuatro, we find the cinema, or we encounter the cinema, or the movie theater. So, nosotros encontramos al cine. Remember that you do not stem change the O to UE in the nosotros form. So again, it's encontramos. For cinco, are you returning at 8? We do stem change here, so we would say, tú vuelves a las 8. Número 6, the salad costs a lot. We do want to stem change here because we know salad, even though it's a thing, it's feminine, so we would use the ella form. So we would say, la ensalada cuesta mucho. We stem change the O to UE. And then the last one, I've shown you an example with jugar. Remember, jugar is a U to UE, and we want to say, I play sports a lot. So we do need to change that U to UE, so the answer would be, yo juego deportes mucho. Now, at this time, if you have any further questions, see the notes provided on page 223 of your Avancemos textbook. And you need to finish up Part D of your note guide. Make sure that you stem change from O to UE in all forms except nosotros. And remember that jugar is also considered an O to UE verb, even though technically it is a U to UE stem change. Remember that you'll have a flipped mini quiz when you come